Greetings. Welcome to Tifa's Tarot, and in this episode of the Tarot story, we are starting with card number 10. Card number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune in the Major Arcana. So let's first talk about, in this video, we'll talk about the positions of what this card means when it's referring to a person, what it means if it's talking about a love situation, if we're talking about money and career and finances, or we're talking about spiritual affairs. And all meanings of this card will be in its upright position. So let's first kind of talk about tens. Like, what do tens mean in the tarot? So tens are associated with finality. They are the end of a cycle, the end of something. They are changes of things that are coming, right? For example, the Ten of Swords is associated with the end of a painful cycle, for example, on a mental level, because swords are associated with your logical thought. Ten of Wands is the end of maybe overwhelming responsibilities or burdens and stresses that we're putting on ourselves, and it's just too much and it's coming to an end. If we are talking about the Ten of Cups, it is the finality of all things love. It's having everything that you possibly want, encompassing of love. If we're talking about the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles is having all the material success and wealth that you would want, even to the point of being able to provide inheritances and legacies for your progeny, right, so to speak. So with tens, they are always associated with changes or the end of something, okay? And this card kind of denotes the same thing. Symbolically, I think if we look very closely at this card, I'm just going to bring it a little closer, okay? We can see that there are 4 of the fixed signs that are here, okay? We have got, let's see, I'll start with the lion. I'm back here. So we've got lion, which is the fixed fire sign, okay? We've got the bull. We've got a bull representing the Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign. We've got the water bearer, which represents Aquarius, a fixed air sign. And we've got an eagle representing Scorpio, which is a fixed water sign. During my research, I just discovered that there are other animals that are associated with the Scorpio sign other than the scorpion, and eagle happens to also be a sign or an animal that is attributed with the sign of Scorpio. So if we're looking symbolically at this card, the most obvious thing is the wheel that we see here, okay? So in the wheel, you can see the letters T-O-R-A, Torah, right? Which is biblically one of the names of God, right? Wheels also represent the cycle of life and time, right? Time is usually in the wheel, right? It's in a circle. The more you understand about time, the more you realize the cyclical nature of life and all of the events that correlate with the seasons that we have in our life, right? I know when I first started realizing this, I was realizing that I was always going under some major stresses in my life, where I was doing things that were a little bit out of character around Scorpio season, and it just always happened to correlate around Scorpio season. And it took me a while to figure out from my own chart how to identify with the seasons and how similar energies come into your life in cycles, right? So the Wheel of Fortune has that exact meaning, right, of time being cyclical. We also have the Sphinx that is at the top, right? So the Sphinx at the top of the wheel is acting as a stabilizer in the midst of life's changes, making sure that things like move along at a stable rate, right? It also holds a sword, right? And swords are known for clarity of thought, right? So this is like having a stable clarity of thought, so that a great equilibrium of change at a steady rate goes through, right? So that's what the Sphinx recognizes. The snake, right, that we see on the left-hand side of the wheel, it represents the forces of good and evil while we're on this planet, right, and the choices that we make. While Anubis was on the right-hand side of the wheel, on the bottom-hand side, represents good fortune and promises of success in that sense, right? Anubis is the kind of god of the underworld who, when I say underworld, I mean he's the carrier of the souls of the dead, I believe, right? So he represents a surety of things happening, right? Just as death is certain, right, for everything that exists in the earthly plane. As you see, like we talked briefly about the signs that all have wings, right? So the wing characters kind of all represent the elements, right? The fixed elements of the zodiac, okay? And let's see. They are all holding a book in their hand. The book is a representation of the Book of Wisdom, right? Which is just basically a book of the laws of nature and how the importance of balance and what's necessary for good and bad fortune in this world, okay? This card is also associated with the planet of Jupiter. If you know anything about astrology, Jupiter is associated with of how we assess all things of fortune, prosperity, good luck, expansion, right? It is the biggest planet in our solar system, so it does have this idea of being, of having big ideas, like not limiting yourself to things that are just comfortable, right? So it's expanding outside of yourself, right? So let's get into if this is pulled and you're asking about a person. So a person that will, where this is pulled for, this can characterize a person who is maybe very fortunate, is foreseen to have a lot of good luck. They could have a lot of good insight, and they maybe are very well traveled and have a very good sense of business, right? In that way, they could be very optimistic. However, they really have a great understanding of the ups and downs of life, and they can handle adversity with like some amount of ease, right? Or with like a balanced approach. This person may also have a very curious appetite for, and they may have a lot of different interests, and they really enjoy expanding their thinking, right? Or accomplishing goals with their expansion, right? So they're very good problem solvers. In a general reading, the Wheel of Fortune could indicate a change of destiny, so good things coming your way, right? It could indicate good luck, a positive swing of affairs happening in your favor. So regardless of what you're asking about, it's a very positive sign. It's a reminder of the cycle of life, and that it's a time to enjoy the good moments, right, while they're here, and to be appreciative and grateful for them. If things have not been going very well, this is a promise that things will start to be an upward swing, and that positive energy is coming your way. If you're inquiring about love reading and this shows up, it can show that you and your partner are on a great momentum of positive energy. The relationship is rolling just right. You're in a very favorable position. Both people are in very favorable positions. Life is good in your relationship. If it's really not, it's a promise, right, that things are on the upward, and you could be like going to higher levels of commitment even when this card is an acceleration or going from one phase to the next. So it's movement of something, okay? If you're single, it can show that perhaps a very important person is entering your life, a soulmate, so to speak, right? It's asking you to be very discerning about any potential suitors, and like really look for the right signs, really look to be shown the right signs that the person people who are coming towards you are actually like meant to be in your life, right? There's quite a bit of universal energy that's involved in this because it promises balance and positive change. So when this card does come out, it's really important that you do listen to your intuition about people who are coming into your life with love as something that you are looking to welcome into your life, right? Let's see. If you're talking about your career or your finances, in a career, and if you're talking about a job or a career, this is a great sign. It could show that big changes are coming into your job. This is a great omen to start any business venture that you've been thinking about at this time. Is showing that the universe is acting very favorably towards you at this time. So if there's anything that you want to do, you're really being urged to kind of like dive right into your wishes and desires, and you're very likely to have very good results from this, okay? If you're happy at your job right now, this is an indication that things could get even better, as if you thought it couldn't, it can, right? So this can show that things are even on a higher level than you could possibly imagine at your current job. If you're asking about finances in that manner, it's a very favorable card as well, and it's showing that luck is kind of on your side if you are into investments or any contracts that you're undergoing show very promising or good results or returns at this time. If you're asking about spiritual affairs, this is also a very positive sign. It shows that the universe is smiling on you, right? It's a great time to kind of grow and develop your spiritual gifts. So it's encouraging you to really be open and welcome all opportunities that are showing you. You might be finding at this time that there's maybe a lot of synchronicities in your life, so pay attention to those because they are really confirming that you're on the right path, right? And it's encouraging you to keep going, right, on whatever spiritual path that you're undertaking. So that is the Wheel of Fortune, right? Once again, it's a culmination of, I would say, positive energy of things going in a steady, positive way or a change in whatever you're inquiring about. Of course, look for supporting cards to give you more clarification on whatever matter that you're asking about. I hope that was helpful for anyone who's watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.